This is Josepha with Fresh Plans, and I have for you today a rough how-to about linocutting. Linocutting is basically a printmaking process where you take a piece of linoleum and cut your design or your picture into it. Then you ink it, put a piece of paper on top of it, and there you have your print. The things that you'll need to get started with this project are a piece of linoleum, or you can actually use a styrofoam meat package. This isn't actually a meat package, this is out of a vegetable package, but I'm pretty sure that if you needed to use a bunch of meat packaging trays, you could, as long as you promise to clean them thoroughly first. You'll also need block printing ink as well as a brayer. And then the tool that we use to create these pictures is called a gouge. Now this is actually quite a sharp piece of equipment. I would recommend using it if you're doing your own art project or if you're working with older students. If you are working with younger students, and of course you have your meat trays, I am assured that this can be done easily with pencils and pens and the occasional piece of yarn. So there are a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can either do a freehand drawing on your linoleum, or you can find a simple design online and print it out using carbon paper, then transfer it onto your linoleum and then cut out from there. The way that we usually do this, and I'm going to see if you can, yeah, you can see it. The way that this is normally done is that you cut out the white space and leave everything that you've drawn on. So in this case, we've got our little suckers and his eyes, which we've left intact, and we started cutting out the white space. Depending on the design that you're using, you might choose to leave the white space and cut out the black space. That's definitely up to you. Once you've finished making your design, you're then ready to make your print. You'll want to take your block printing ink and your brayer and go to an area that has no white furniture, basically. Someplace that is easy to clean. So once you're in your nice cleanable space, or once you've put out a drop cloth, you can then put a dish out, squeeze a bit of the ink into it, and roll the brayer through it. And then you take the brayer and apply that ink to the surface of your linoleum, directly to the surface in an even motion, if you can handle it, making sure that you get all the way to the edges. Here again, this is something that can be done with younger students. If you are using your styrofoam tray, it works just the same. Once you have inked your linoleum, making sure that it goes all the way to the edges of your design, you'll then take a piece of paper and lay it over the top. Be sure that you have someone who has a fairly steady hand for this part, or you're going to get a smudgy print. So take a piece of paper, place it on top of your print, and then take your Baron. It's a kind of like a stamp. It's got a flat side on one end, and gently press it against each section of the print until you're sure that the print is completely transferred to the paper. You can then remove your paper and you'll have a very nice print. So there you have it. Two options for your lino cuts. One in a kind of a destructive and slightly dangerous way, and one in an adaptable form for your younger art students.